Hello, I'm Valerie McLennan. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. This is my spiritual channel, Valerie Mac, Scottish, spiritual, and very funny, allegedly. Now, if you've been following me a while, thanking you, and please tell your friends, your colleagues, the person sitting next to you on the bus, whoever, any other human being, could you kindly send the link to my channel? Don't you just sit there and enjoy all my wisdom and all my humour and not tell other people. That's not very nice, I know. If you're a new listener, thank you very much. And may I ask you to revert back to previous podcasts. It'll give you an idea of my style, my delivery, my humour. Sometimes I burst into song. You just don't know what you're getting. Thanking you. But it's very important. If you're enjoying it, could you kindly send the link, share it, let people know. Thank you. Now, this is kind of becoming a little habit, slight habit, whatever the word is, of starting off with a couple of light-hearted jokes or little stories. As I said, there is method in my madness, is to put you into a false sense of security, and then I will do a little curveball with my spiritual message. I know. What's it all about? Etc. Now, I do have, maybe, how many have I got in my mind? 1, 2, 3 little funny stories. Hopefully make you smile or guffaw or whatever it is you're doing on this Monday evening. Oh, it's absolutely freezing. Again, I know. I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Freezing. Then there was one day over the weekend? I think it reached 1 degree. Maybe yesterday, Saturday, can't remember now. Today, absolutely bitter. It's so still. Do you notice? It's very, very still. Very, very calm. Very, very frozen. Anyway, I hope it's nicer wherever you are. It's nice. It's actually like a very nice winter's day. But it's freezing. Anyway, back to my funny stories. Are you sitting? Are you sitting down comfortably? Shall I begin? Now, there's a little grandmother, a little quaint, frail grandmother decides to phone St. Joseph's Hospital. And timidly she asks, "Is it possible to speak to someone who can tell me how a patient is doing in there, please?" And the receptionist said, "Oh, of course, dear. Certainly I will do my best to help you." So the receptionist said, "Can I have the person's name? And do you know the room number?" And the little old lady said, "Yes, I do. Her name is Norma Finlay, and she resides in room 302. So the receptionist said, "Give me a mo, please." She went away. And then a couple of minutes later, the receptionist came back and she said, "Are you there, dear?" "Yes. I have been speaking to the doctor, and yes, I can confirm that Norma Finlay in room 302. Her blood pressure is back to normal. Her blood tests have come back clear, and the doctor has just advised that they will be sending her home tomorrow morning." And the lady said, "Thank you so much. That's very kind." And the receptionist said, "Just before you go, is Norma your daughter?" And the little old lady said, "No, I am Norma Finlay, and I am in room 302, but nobody tells me anything." Thanking you. I bet there are many people who will relate to that story and say, "That's an idea. I could phone the switchboard and ask how I am." Do you know what I mean? I thought it was funny. "I am Norma Finlay and I'm in room 302. Thank you for telling me how I am." Nobody bothers with me in here. Anyway, the other little funny one. A man walks into a chemist and he goes up to the pharmacist and he said, "Good afternoon. Could you please give me something? I'm looking for something for hiccups." And the pharmacist said, "For hiccups?" And the man said, "Yes, of her hiccups." So the pharmacist walked a few steps down, and obviously the gentleman thought he was going to get something off the shelf. No, he turned around, he slapped the man, the customer, in the face. And the man said, "What was that for?" And the pharmacist said, "Well, you don't have hiccups anymore, do you?" And the man said, It wasn't for me, it's for my wife, and she's sitting outside in the car. Just a wee silly one. Just a little silly one. Now, my final one for today. I'm not giving you any more than 3. You're spoiled already, getting 3 jokes. No, this is my final one. This is the one that is leading me into my spiritual lesson for today. There's a teacher in a class, and there's a little 5-year-old girl. And the teacher said to the little 5-year-old girl, if God walked in here at this minute, what would you say to God? And the little 5-year-old said, I would pick up the Bible and I would just walk over to God, hand him the Bible and say, this is your life. I know, this is your life. I'm old enough to remember this is your life. Do you remember? Don't even pretend you have no idea what I'm doing. Do you remember that? This is your life. What was his name? What was his name? There was a few, wasn't there? Oh, they're probably all gone now. I know. But this, God, this is your life. Now, I will so casually that you will barely notice, I'm going to revert into my spiritual wisdom. I am. Will I give you an hour to stop laughing? Yeah, it's all right. Stop laughing already. Now, this is your life. Take that as a message. There are many people in life who, they wear so many, everyone does. You've got so many roles that you play in a day. A wife, a teacher, I've, mentioned this in the past. I'm just tying it in with my little joke today. Maybe a mother, a father, a teacher, whatever your profession is, a boss, an employee. So all day you're manoeuvring between, even say you're a man, right? You're the male in the house, the man in the house, and you're going out, and you're maybe the employee. And then you're coming home, but you're the father, and then you go and visit your mother and you're the son, So you can be switching from all of those roles all in one day. Some people do it in an hour, You turn around, there's your mother, and then you're the son, and then you turn around there, and this is you're there. Now, many people in life are switching continually from day to day from one role. Now, I wouldn't say you're conscious of it, but many people, you're obviously in your subconscious, you're thinking, this is I'm the child, even if you're a grown adult. If it's your mother, your parent, I'm the child, I'm this, I'm that, and you're kind of all those roles. Now, people in life are wearing an awful lot of hats, and they're wondering why they feel under pressure. They're being this for this, they're here, they're there, they're here. Now, can I remind you, when we're on planet Earth, yes, it's very good to give help where you can and to, offer encouragement, to offer help, as I said, to other individuals. But the whole purpose, in my belief, personal growth, personal development on Earth is for you, yourself. You're not supposed to kind of, at the cost of yourself, you're losing your own self, be everything to other people continually. Because then you do lose yourself. And you often hear people, it tends to be people, maybe as they're getting older, maybe family have moved out, etc. You often hear people saying, and they're meaning it just tongue-in-cheek, but it's a reality for many, that they've forgotten who they are. Or because they've maybe been at home, or maybe, they've been parents, whatever, and they've been playing that role. And then if whatever part you are in life, you tend to forget, or we all tend to forget who we actually are. So you often hear people thinking, goodness sake, I can't even remember who I am. Where would I begin? Do you know, if you just start all over again, there are times in your life where I suggest you stop and you re-evaluate your life and you prioritise yourself. As I said in a previous podcast, you can go to the gym and you can exercise until you're blue in the face. You can buy all the superfoods and the creams and the potions and the lotions. You can buy all that online. You can have all of the above. If you are not focusing on yourself, all of the above is just really, it's just cosmetic and it's just artificial. I suggest when we're on Earth, it's all regarding personal growth and personal development. If you're forgetting who you are, or there are many, many people in life, especially where we're living now in this kind of world, that are burnt out. I hear this continually. People are saying, I'm absolutely frazzled. Oh, it's only Monday. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, how am I going to drag myself to bed? That's not a way to live. And in all honesty, you're not doing yourself any favours and you're not doing other people any favours. Back to my joke. This is your life. Now take that sentence and remember, some people forget about themselves and then they think, oh, well, I'm only at the bottom. You hear people, again, tongue-in-cheek, yes, I remember, I'm focusing on myself, but I'm about 496 down the list. Now, that might sound quite funny, but you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing on earth. It's all about self-development, personal development. And if you don't look after yourself, I'm meaning you as himself, SELF, yourself, if you don't look after yourself that way, you're not really good you're not going to really be at your best for anything that you're doing in life, because you're giving and giving and giving and overlooking the person that you are. Now, I would assume if you were living at that pace for a long time, some people for years, you would start to feel a bit resentful or bitter, because you would, I imagine, you would look back one day and think, your life is just kind of gone. You've been a parent, you've been a this, you've been a that, you've been at the beck and call, the beck and call, the beck and call. Now, I'm obviously not referring to children who need their parents. I'm not talking about little baby children that need I'm talking about when people reach an age where they should be kind of functioning for themselves. You are not doing them any good and they're not doing you any good if you are there and you're doing everything. Each and every one of us are supposed to be learning, growing, and personal development. Whatever stage you are in your life, you should be able to look back 4, 5 years, 10 years and see a difference in your character. This is why I speak to so many people. I've noticed it even in the last couple of years, especially since the pandemic. I've come over this conversation over and over again. But I would say even in the last couple of years, I think it's the intensity of the world we're living in, the fear and the negativity that's been thrown into the world, the financial situation where everybody's under pressure, emotional pressure, especially at this time of year. People think, for goodness sakes, it's not bad enough, there you go, this. You wonder why people are burning out. And at the flip side of it, you hear so many people now are looking for something to keep them younger. I need something to kind of rejuvenate. You have to look within yourself. A potion, a tub and a cream and a this and a that and a superfood, it's all helpful, but that's not what you're needing. You need to stop, remember why you're here, and get back to the basics in your life. You shouldn't really be carrying emotionally too many adults on your shoulders, because something will give. And, this is what you see an awful lot at this time of year, where people don't even enjoy the Christmas period. They don't even enjoy it. They say, I'll be glad when it's over. You can understand why this is glad when it's over, because they're absolutely burnt out and it's maybe still November, because they're going so far ahead and they're trying to do everything and they're trying to do this and they're trying to do that. Number one, it is not good for your health at all. Number two, it's not good for your emotional state. And you're not, because I keep repeating, we're living in an energy world, energy-based. Can you imagine your energy level? If you were like a car, I always say this, if you were looking at the tank and you're putting petrol, don't start, I've got an electric, don't give me all this stuff. If you were putting petrol into your car, into the tank, you don't even need to answer anyone. Think to yourself, where is your gauge at this minute emotionally on if you were equivalent to a tank of petrol? You know what I mean? Are you a quarter? Are you half a tank? Are you full? Emotionally, where are you? Now, that's a really simple but very, very good guide for yourself to know where you are. Because if you sit still for a few minutes and just think, right, where am I emotionally? And be honest with yourself. If you're anything below half emotionally, you need to start topping that up. And the reason is, when any challenges, if you're at half or below and you're feeling totally depleted at half a tank and below at the minute emotionally, can you imagine what's going to happen when challenges come along? Or if you continue at the speed that you're going at now and you don't do anything to kind of address the way you're feeling. If you think you're at half a tank and below emotionally and you're not going to do anything. You're just going to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going the way you're going. That's going to continue to drop and drop and drop. And that's how you hear people saying, I feel I am running on empty. Now, people say those words and they're saying it, but they're not realising the damage they're doing to themselves, and they think it's just quite flippant. Oh, I feel I'm running on empty, I'm exhausted. Now, that's actually the spiritual part of your nature, drawing attention, tapping you on the shoulder and saying, you're even speaking the words, you are running on empty. Now, if you don't do anything about it, you will crash and burn emotionally. Now, that's the point. I've tied that in with my little joke. This is your life. Nobody else. People can only advise. If you do the no, yes, 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 and you just continue to drop the petrol gauge is just going to keep dropping and dropping and dropping. You have got to replace that, and you've got to start building from the inside out. This is what I keep saying. If your inner world is dropping and dropping and dropping, this is what I keep saying, a superfood and everything else is just artificially kind of like sticking a Band-Aid over something. If you're at that state, you probably know, and most people know themselves where they are emotionally in life. But to me, it's actually the spiritual part of your nature telling you, and your gut instinct. And it's like, this is what I was saying to you a few days ago when I was telling you, you've got to look for the signals as they're coming along. People often say after they completely emotionally crash, they'll say to me, they've said over the years, I knew I was just, pushing my luck. I was kind of going on. And they actually say themselves, oh, I knew. I was aware of the signs. I could see the signs. You're thinking, people are getting tapped on the shoulder. It's like the expression, the spiritual world. They'll throw a pebble to draw your attention and say, right, look at what you're doing. You've got to kind of look at yourself and put yourself first here. You can't keep going at the speed you're going emotionally. And if you ignore the pebble, they'll throw a brick. And then some people ignore the brick. And then the building comes right down on top of them. And most people, generalising, will say they were aware of it. They could feel the emotion. It was getting too much and too bad. As that joke says, this is your life. Remember, it is your life. You can't be here, and you're not supposed to be doing everything for everyone. You're supposed to be helping people where we can, but other people are supposed to be doing their own bit. It's not good to carry people emotionally that don't need carried. Let adults be adults, and the adults, if you keep doing that for them, you're not doing them any good either. They are adults, and they should be looking after themselves. Thank you. Go listen to my jokes. I like that one in the hospital, that woman. Norman Finlay. Nobody tells me anything in here. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.